with Mireille Lexima Jackson for another segment of Mireille Talk. Thank you for joining me. Please share this channel with your friends, your neighbors, your family members, and anyone that you think that could benefit from it, that could relate and identify with some of the subjects that are being discussed on Mireille's Talk. Please subscribe and don't forget to follow me on Instagram at mireille.lexima. My subject today is about ageism, coping with the status quo, and relearning and accepting my reality. Things that we went through as we get to where we are right now. I am 66 years old, but looking back when I was younger, about 40 years old, the idea and thought of people that are older, the elderly, it was always like fragile, weak, unable, needing assistance and needing help. And that is why everywhere we go and we find people helping, the elderly, stepping up or stepping down or where have you. So we know that ageism is working against us, but we will not let it, right? So we're going to stand up because we are still, even though we are older, we are still going on and we all going the same road together, and let's do it, and let's do it firmly, proudly, and strongly as we are still standing. Now, I'm not saying that, a lot of people my age are in predicaments of health issues or what have you. But those who are not, they are still going strong and doing very well, The things that strike me a lot is like sometimes when we go places and then we are being helped and being assisted by the younger population, the terms of endearment that they utilize, like honey, sweetheart, darling, sweetie, that kind of thing, I never really was very privy to it, and I wasn't really liking it too much. It's like a few weeks back, I went to the doctor with my husband, and this young nurse was helping my husband, taking the temperature and taking the blood pressure and all of that. And she held my husband by his back and saying, sweetie, would you get on the scale for me? And I'm kind of, are you kidding me? That man standing in front of her, my husband, is a 218-pound man, 6'3", 6'2", and who is very well built. He's a colonel in the United States Army. He's of a great stature and really strong and very, very good looking guy. And I have to tell you, my husband is a great looking man. His posture is beautiful. His tummy is flat, and he's really looking good because due to all those years that he spent in the army working on his body and working on his fitness and everything. But here's this girl saying, sweetie, like it's a fragile and capable person. So afterwards, I didn't want to embarrass her, but I did call the doctor on the side and said, those terms of endearment, they're, fit for somebody else, but I would prefer that they're not utilized, with my husband. We understand that. We understand that it's out of respect. It's a sign of respect. Much love to that. But, it's sometimes not appropriate for certain people. It's okay for some others. I never did not like that, and I still do not like it. So just for fun, myself, I try to do the same thing. I reverse the roles with the younger population. I would say, ma'am, yes ma'am, no ma'am, excuse me ma'am, that kind of thing. And then I get a double take. It's like, Are you talking to me? That's what they're trying to say when they take a double take. It's like saying, are you talking to me? Yes, I'm talking to you. It's kind of fun. I kind of laugh and then take it all, in good taste and kind of laugh at that. But it's pure pleasure to watch the reaction. You know, when the younger person is being proactive to assist by moving ahead of the elderly person in anticipation of a need, trying to help them to step up, step down, or to sit down, or that kind of those kind of assistance. It is wonderful, but not everybody is receptive to it. I remember many years back, I was my mother-in-law. She was moving away, walking away, and I went to help her, out of courtesy. She did not like that at all. She nudged me, like leave me alone or something like that. And I took offense to that, and I felt so hurt, and I thought she didn't like me. But that was not that at all. It was just the fact that she's an independent woman. She's very tall. She took it, my husband took his height from his mother. Very tall, well-standing, nice-looking lady, and very, sure of herself, the way she stands and her posture and everything. My husband is just like his mom. And I get it now, and I understand it's because that she's trying to tell me I'm independent. I got it, I'm okay. I'm not that fragile, I can help myself. So now looking back, I realize, that's what, she was telling me. And now we have to really be very thankful of the assistance that the younger person, the younger generation is putting forth to be, helping us, to be aiding us. And because these days, you don't see too many people trying to do that. Not many people. You see some, we find some to do that, but not many people. Some of them would just walk by you and actually striking you down, and you falling and walking all over an older person and not even realize what they're doing. It's not intentionally done. It's mostly because that they're on their phone. They're very busy communicating in social media with their friends, or with their headset on and their headphones on, and listening to a music and going about their way, and they don't even realize what they have done. But that's what happens. But when we do find those that are attentive and being very nice and respectful and coming to the aid of an older person, whether you need it or not, that is commendable, and that is to be appreciated. So myself right now, being very comfortable in my current status, I find their willingness to be of assistance to me, or to anybody older, to anyone that's like me. I find that very impressive and very welcoming. It does not cost anything for us to allow ourselves to receive the kindness of others. Myself, if I am somewhere and somebody needs assistance, I do the same thing and I help them. I help them, or it doesn't cost anything to do that, and it's just common courtesy. I am now fully aware that before, when I was younger, or when I was getting younger, it was because of my fear of aging that built a resistance to accept the honor and respect that I was due as an older person. So I realize that now. In addition to those things that I realize that, the changes that took place in my life after 60, I am nothing like I was before. And I am noticing that, my habits have changed and have actually swung to the left. They are totally different, than the habits that I used to have. Like, for example, we get some perks when we get older. So when you turn 55, you are able to have discounts, from the stores. When you're purchasing, they give you a certain amount of discounts. So when I was 55, I was still dyeing my hair, going to the salon every week. The minute I dye my hair, and they come back very quickly. What I didn't like is the fact that I had that crown of white hair or gray hair all around my head. It's not that I didn't like getting gray or white, but if they all were the same color, it would have been wonderful. But I would have the crown of gray, and then the rest of my hair would be my old hair, and the new hair coming in is all white, all gray. And I didn't like that. I didn't like the two-tone. So that's why I couldn't wait to go back to the salon every single week, going to get my hair dyed, because I wanted to not having this appearing. Finally, what did I do? I just went and cut all of the other colors out and let the white just roam freely, grow freely, and then just come into their own. And then that's what becomes my own hair. Both my husband and I, we have white hair. He's got the white beard going on, and I got the white hair, and we like it, and he loves my hair this way. But at that time, and for me to prove that that I was 55 years old, I had to, to the cashier, I had to produce my ID card for the cashier to acknowledge that I really was over 55 years old. So I had to pull that ID all the time. So I had the age, and I wanted the discount, but I had to prove it in order for me to earn it, to show that I have earned it. I have burnt those years to bring me up to this year that I'm 55. And it's okay. Now, I enthusiastically welcome the discounts. I have no shame in my game to show my identification card. And it's only a few bucks back in my pocket. Listen, if I'm going to purchase something, I will not be able to purchase it if I'm missing $1, if I'm missing 50 cents or $5. So if I'm getting a discount to give me that 50 cents, that dollar, or that $5, I'm going to go for it. I gladly give my ID, but now guess what? They don't even want it anymore. They don't even need it anymore. They don't even ask me. I don't know if it's because of the gray hair that I'm rocking or what, or because of the tracks of ages and wrinkles that they see around my face and my neck, but they give it to me willingly. They don't even ask me for any ID anymore. So another thing that I saw that also is that getting a seat in a crowded space. Let's say if I'm in the bus or in the train or even waiting at a restaurant for a seat. I do not take the bus or the train while I'm home, but when I'm traveling, if I travel around the United States or travel out of the country, I see people that are very courteous, getting up and then letting me sit in my husband. I am 66, my husband is 67. But sometimes I would say, okay, thank you, it's okay, or I myself would get up and give my seat to somebody else that I assume that is older than me, or that is more, of a higher age than I am, or appears to be that needing the seat, even though they may be younger, but there may be something that, they're impaired, that they need my seat. So it just goes both ways. And it's a great thing, a wonderful thing to see that, at the restaurant, if I'm waiting for a seat and I'm standing there, and then somebody would get up and give me their seats and things like that. You would see those things all the time and very often. So even at the cashier counter, I would see people, that I'm in line. It doesn't matter how much stuff that's in my cart, and people are kind enough to usher me to the front of the line so that I don't have to wait, in line. And that's wonderful if I'm in a hurry. But if I'm not in a hurry, I would say, okay, it's thank you. I acknowledge that because they may be needing it to do it more than I do, but it's just that they're trying to be very nice and very kind and very attentive to me. So that is something that it goes both way, and we do it all, the same way. So I'm not mad at that at all. I receive all the blessings that I'm able to get because I feel like burning all those years in my life, I have earned it. So it's not a matter of that I'm incapable or that I am weak or that I'm fragile, but I think it's all a sign of respect because you have earned it at your age. Another very important aspect that I notice, ladies and gentlemen, and I know that you can identify it, you know it, you've seen it, or maybe you have gone through it yourself. It's my driving. I used to drive like a bat out of hell, like a Mad Max. My husband used to say to me, slow down, baby, you're gonna get some tickets, and you don't wanna get tickets, not at your age, that kind of thing. And, and I had to go places, and it's just like, move out of my way. So recently, I moved into a neighborhood where the speed limit is different from where I used to live and what I am used to. So, but I never paid any attention to that things were different around here than I am, than where I came from. And I didn't know that there were police cars stashed, hiding away in certain parts of the streets and of the neighborhood. Well, all of a sudden, in 1 month's time, ladies and gentlemen, I got 3 tickets. You hear me? 3 tickets. Okay, do you know what that means to me? I immediately realize what's going on. At my age, the minute the police look at me and all of my gray hair, I think I know what's going on into his head. He's saying this old woman is being a danger to all of the drivers out there in the streets, that I'm a menace to society. They are going immediately, what goes to my mind, what goes onto my head, they're going to take my license away. They're going to take my license away from me to keep me from driving. Losing my license, losing my independence is one thing that I cannot allow to happen. So now I drive like the little old lady that I am, because I have places to go. I have things to do. I have people to see. I got stuff to do. I got a life to live. Because I've got this whole life to live in front of me. I cannot let it be slowed down by depending on someone else to take me to places because my license has been taken away from me. So, you see, in the past, when I used to see older people driving, older folks cruising down the street, slowly behind the wheel, here are my thoughts. Oh my God, they are driving so old. Why don't they just get out of the way and just let me go through? I have to go on my way. I got to drive very fast past them so I could get to where I'm going. Well, now I know why the elderly drive the way they do. I realize it's not because that they do not know how to drive a car properly. It's not because they don't know how to maneuver the gear of a vehicle. Obviously, it's because these old people out here don't want to lose their license. They're driving more cautiously, just like I'm doing now. Go figure, huh? Here I am in the same boat, preserving my privilege to drive. So now we know why we see all the elderly people driving behind their wheels, you know, and just going about their way in a very calm and in a very slow way, because not only they're not in a hurry, okay, and there's nothing that's going to make them do anything that would take their license away. So it's because of the driving privilege, just like I'm doing right now. So at 66 years old, it took me that long for me to learn to obey the traffic signals, the speed limit, the signs, the school zones, all of that. I'm a very good student right now. I could even teach driving schools. So you see, there are so many things that have changed and that we have accommodate, you know, ourselves, and we have come to realize and to accept and adhere by it. So if somebody had told me, do not do this and do not do that, I would not have listened to them. But now, not just having lived it and knowing the risks of the things that I might lose, the privileges that I might lose, I conform. I conform wholeheartedly, and I don't have any problem doing that. Thank you for joining me. Please share this YouTube channel with your friends, your neighbors, and everybody, and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you the next time and share another segment of Mireille Talk. Until then, keep safe and be well.